Once again, June in New Mexico has proven to be a very active fire season with wildfires in the Jemez and the Sangre de Cristos. In just the first week of the month, we've set records for large fires each of the past 2 years. As a reminder, now, is this the new normal, and what are the implications on how forests are managed, Dan, and how fires are fought? Now, I remember sometime last summer, we had a rigorous discussion, you and I, about this, and that, some ideas that you had that weren't happening and that you thought should be. Where do you think this administration is now on the fire issue? Are we prepared for this summer?
No, we're not. There's no way to prepare for the summer. I mean, you can get as many planes as you want and as many people here. Once the fire starts, the fire starts. I mean, unless you're going to park a truck in front of every house, and unless you and then you add on top of it now the water crisis. I mean, you got fires in places that don't have water. And so, I think this gets back to, and we've had the discussion here many times about global warming and all of that stuff. I think it gets back to forest management. And I've said on this show countless times, my district had a perfect example. You could drive through Ruidoso, you could tell where the Apache land started and the government land started. The Apache land was always thin, clean, didn't have diseased trees, great vegetation, great wildlife, and literally at a fence line, it was trees covered in moss, dying, brush everywhere, because they manage their forest and we refuse to do it. As long as we continue to allow people to build in these places, we have got to figure out how to manage the forest. That includes thinning the forest, cleaning up the vegetation, doing the things that need to be done. That so many people say, no, these wilderness areas where they're saying no access, it's a problem. In the old days, a fire happened and it burned. That's what happened. And then the vegetation grew back. Now, we don't let the fires burn and we don't thin the forests. And it's just, this state is a tinderbox, and it's not just us. And if people, the thing that I'm worried about as fire season goes on, are we going to continue to be a priority? Now we're getting people from Colorado and Arizona and these other states. When those fires start in their states, they're going home to fight. We're going to have less and less opportunity to get this taken care of.
Happened last year with the big Arizona fire, certainly. Power lines are a big problem in the Pecos, down power line, lightning, but power lines specifically. Has the legislature ever taken a look at this issue where power lines go across certain lands and upkeep and all this kind of thing?
Yes, but this is a PRC issue. I think this is a PRC issue, and it's their job, I think, to put in some best practices about right-of-ways and thinning along power lines. But just to Dan's point, I largely agree. And I've often thought that this would be a great jobs program here in New Mexico, thinning. And it used to be back in the 1930s and 40s. And now, the Forest Service doesn't have the money.
It's an entire industry in Mescalero. It's an entire industry on the reservation.
But it doesn't always prevent a fire. I just want to say that in the Jemez, where now I think it's 12,000 acres have burned, it's right in the area where they had the Jemez Restoration Project. And this was a project that happened after the last fire, the Las Conchas fire on the east side. And it has helped a little bit, but it's not completely the answer. We are just in such a tremendous drought and in such, it's the worst. I've heard folks that have studied droughts saying this is the third worst year in 1,000 years. Wow. And so there's not much not much we can do when we're facing those odds.
It's interesting, Rob, to hear Dan and Senator Feldman talk about this, about being proactive. Dan's right. It's difficult to predict anything. You can't predict dry lightning. You can't predict where lightning is going to hit. But what would be the problem with what the senator recommended, which, by the way, came up after the Cerro Grande fire, I seem to recall, a jobs program to clear combustibles and all that. That's being proactive. That's getting in front of something. It's just waiting for things to happen and then fighting it.
Yeah, although I'm just talking off the top of my head, I would think that you're probably going to get some resistance from some of the environmental groups who don't want access.
But also, I would say yes and no, because forest management, responsible forest management, there is a difference between clear cutting and responsible thinning along certain plans, and there is a fair amount of consensus in the middle there about what can be done on a responsible level, because environmentalists don't want those fires either. They recognize.
And the other thing too is I did a story last year, and I interviewed a retired scientist from Los Alamos who was thinking outside the box. He says he thinks the military, the Air Force, should be fighting these fires. And you read about so many of these problems, not just here in New Mexico, but all across the West and even some parts in the northern part of the country. I think if this reaches a critical mass, I think I don't know if that's the best idea.
Sure.
But
It may be the only option.
But the military was able to get into Afghanistan. They might be able to to put out a fire.
But last summer, do you remember?
Using the Air Force.
Military action inside the United States. Think it through a little bit. I know.
Here's the thing. Last summer, I think you were here for this discussion as well, Rob. I know, Sophie, you were, that the idea of letting a fire burn once we know where it has started, even if it's away from structures, just let it go. We have other priorities where there are structures. And I know there was a debate last year. Representative Pierce had an issue with that as well. Your thought there, that idea of just letting stuff burn if it's going to have to burn, and just letting things just go the way they will. Are we on the right track with that? Because that seems to be our modus operandi these days.
So I think the challenge is this. Obviously, we have limited resources, and we have professionals on the ground who are monitoring the situation, who have to make decisions. We can't battle it in every direction.
It's the fifth largest state in the union.
Right. So they're going to have to make decisions. I do think, though, to both Dan and Senator Feldman's points earlier, I think that we as a community, perhaps as a country, have this tendency to think like we can do this or we can do this or we can do this, but we can't do all three at once. And you know what? We should have zoning regulations across the state in incorporated and unincorporated areas that say, this is what you do on your private land, this is what we do on the public land. Hey, we're going to work with the Apache, we're going to work with other communities to make sure that we've got best practices in place all across the state. So that we are limiting the impact where we can.
That's right.
At the same time that we're looking ahead to try and thin the lands or do whatever needs to be done for the future. And we're fighting fires where we've got them. Why do we think of it as like, oh, we can't predict? No, we can't predict it's going to hit here. But we can try to limit the impact when it happens.
And the private sector is doing some of this, Gene, in the insurance market. I mean, I'm in the insurance industry, and these guys are going out, a fire comes through, and for the last few years, they're going out to these homes and saying, if you don't trim trees and clean up, we're dropping you. And banks don't let you not have insurance. And so,
just like people in floodplains.
That's right. I think that you're seeing a move to do this, but I think there's a great discussion happening around the table that, you talk about the number of kids we have in this state during the summer. What an opportunity to go out and work in the forest, clean up. This is not a Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, getting out in the most beautiful parts of the country right here in this state, cleaning it, fixing it, preparing it would attract more people. Think of the amount of money this state's going to lose over the next few months when the national media is saying New Mexico's closed for fires and people are not coming out
To
here.
be willing to allocate, we have to be proactive about it, and I don't see that happening right now.